There is an epidemic of loneliness right now, and it certainly hasn't gotten better since the whole pandemic situation. 30 years ago, a majority of guys reported having at least 6 close friends, and today that number's been cut in half. There's even 15% of guys who have no close friendships at all, which is a five-fold decrease since the 90s. That's insane. There are literally a bunch of videos here, on YouTube and other platforms of people saying they have no friends, that they have social anxiety, and they have millions of views because there's people like them who are looking for friendships and don't know what to do in their 20s and 30s. This might seem like an overwhelming problem, but there are some pretty simple solutions that I'm going to share with you. Even if you have some friends, but you're looking for new ones who are more in alignment with what you're up to, then this video will help. G'day, my name's Josh. I'm not an expert or a coach. I'm just an enthusiast for living a good life and sharing some of my experience with you and some things that have worked along the way. My life today looks pretty different than it did 5 years ago. I left high school and realized that most of the people I was friends with had pretty different interests. Especially once I stopped drinking at 18, it became pretty clear that our lifestyles and the things we wanted to do for fun were just not in alignment. And I became quite isolated because of it. Totally my choice, but I wasn't sure how to fill the void and find people who were doing what I wanted to do. When I moved to Vancouver, I set out to find a group of guys who were like me, who had similar interests in growing their lives the way they wanted to, who were interested in becoming physically fit, wanting to push themselves, and having a lot of cool adventures. My life was kind of like that before. I did things like that here and there, but not super consistently. And so here are 3 things that I did that helped me move into that way of life. That adventure and physical fitness and, doing fun things all the time was just part of my life. If you do just one of the things I'm about to tell you, you'll put yourself in a great position to find some pretty great friends and have a lot of adventures. These are the 3 things that I did to create incredible friend groups and brotherhood. Firstly, and most importantly, I think, is joining a men's group. I've been involved with men's groups for about 9 years, and it has been the foundation for me building the life that I live and love right now. The ability to show up every single week with guys who are on the same path as you is the most incredible thing I've ever experienced. I've built deep friendships inside and outside of the group where I get to show up every week. I get feedback on my life. I get advice. I get to, share with other people's lives. But then outside of group, we go and we do rock climbing, we do mountaineering, we do hiking, trail running, we go sailing, we go traveling, we do all this stuff. We play sports together. And it's become such this fountain of adventure, from this weekly thing that I show up to. But because of the consistency of us showing up every single week together, it creates trust. And trust is the foundation for all friendships. And so we're able to go and we're able to take risks together because we trust each other and have proven that inside of the group. It's such a low entry point. You can literally just go onto Google and search men's groups in my area and, you can just reach out and join the group and see what happens. Secondly is sports. I didn't play sports growing up a lot. I bodyboarded and played a little bit of Australian football when I was super young, but nothing really in high school. So getting into a sports as an adult was a little bit daunting. Like I started playing spike ball a couple of years ago, which was super fun. And now I do Muay Thai and BJJ. And on the first day of training Muay Thai, I met a guy who had also just started. We made a commitment to come 5 times a week and also do private training with one of the instructors. And now we're friends. And the consistency and doing hard things with people, again, builds trust. There's plenty of days where both of us are battered and sore because we're training and working out and running and doing all our own activities. But because we both showed up, I knew I'd met someone who was reliable, and so did he. A true modern day bromance. If you've been thinking about this one for a while, like I had, and haven't been getting started, just start. I've thought about doing Muay Thai or BJJ for literally years and kept putting it off because I was looking at different gyms. I was indecisive about which one was the best. How do I don't want to start down at a bad gym and then realize it's terrible and have to go to another gym. And I was wasting so much time in inaction until I was just like, okay, I need to remove the resistance. I'm going to find a gym that's close so I go consistently. And it completely changed my life. If that's you, just jump on the internet, jump on Google, find a gym close to you, that does something that you're kind of interested in, Muay Thai, BJJ, whatever, and just get started. If this is helpful, show me some love, put a like on the video, and subscribe for more content just like this. Thirdly is cold plunge communities. If you're into personal growth and anything about health, you've probably seen plenty of stuff about Wim Hof and cold plunging. The cool thing about this is that there are plenty of cold plunge communities around the world. And it takes a certain kind of person to go and get that high from their breath and freeze in a lake or an ice bath. The communities around this are fantastic. People just get together. There's so much encouragement for people who are doing it for the first time. And, you often have tea or coffee afterwards and get to hang out. And it's just a really great Again, we're looking for low barrier to entry. You don't have to spend any money. You can just jump on the web, find some people who are into cold plunging and Wim Hof method. And it's hard. It's not super easy. There's resistance, but it doesn't cost anything. You don't usually have to drive far. Someone's probably doing it in their backyard, with a couple of bins full of ice where you can get started, or you can just go down to a local lake and find people who are doing it there. Super low barrier to entry, lots of fun. You meet lots of great people like you, and you get to connect with them up, like I said, over a tea or coffee afterwards. So the bonus piece to tie this all together is staying in touch. This is not my greatest strength, and I'm good at with my tight circle. I communicate with them all the time, but I like to spend a lot of time off my phone and in nature, and so I excuse myself from replying promptly or reaching out to people in the first place, and it causes some friendships, and it has caused some friendships to take a lot longer than it had to cement themselves. Just checking with how someone's doing. If they're on a trip or something's going on in their life or work, or invite them to hang out. Like, it's great that you might meet someone who you're connecting really well with, and you're like, oh, this person could be my friend, but then you never reach your hand out to connect with them or do something further, and the relationship kind of stops there and it gets stagnant. A huge part of friendship is trust. So when you do something with people that has a certain level of commitment and consistency to it, it's easy to show up. And it also builds trust that you and other people are reliable. If I think about our men's group, every single Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30, we show up pretty much no matter what. If we're in town, unless there's a very extenuating circumstance like you're sick or there's a special occasion, everyone shows up at Tuesday, 6:30 every single week, and we've been doing it for 4 years. And that helps, like, nobody wants to hang out with unreliable people. I'm sure you know people in your life who are really unreliable, and maybe that's you, because that used to be me. And I didn't really like myself, and I wasn't a great friend. And this allows you to build that skill, and it's so much easier with friends when you have other people who are showing up just like you are. So I hope that helps, mate. I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end of the video. If you did, I'm assuming you're interested in personal growth and moving your life forward and adventure. I've got a 3-step PDF. It's totally free. It's just a 3-step framework for how I make decisions, and it's really helped me in my life, and I think it might help you in yours. See you in the next video.